Hello, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. This is a live. We're going to be doing a couple different angles on this live, so you got to have to work with me, but let me just let a couple people get on board as I get the live up and ready and situated. Okay. All right. We'll move around. Let me just check if I should take the glare down, let people get on board. Let's see. Yeah, Jacoby. AH for truth, Brother Andaza. Pastor, how are you, sir? Hey, Peter, what's up? How are you? Hey, when you come on board, say where you're coming from. Just say where you're coming from. Shout out wherever you are in the world, where you're coming from. Let everybody come on board. Okay? There will be a couple adjustments here as I put this together. All right. Sorry about that, guys. We're going to be doing a couple adjustments. But anyway, look, where you coming on? Just say where you're coming from, okay? Louisiana, Eagles in the house. All right, Louisiana. Baton Rouge, nice people. Went out there. Very nice people in Baton Rouge. What's up? Track. All right, Nevada's in the house. Mesa, Arizona. Mike, how are you? Good to see you. I heard Arizona in the hills and the mountains is a good place to pray. All right. Massachusetts, Peter. Okay. Amityville, New York. All right. There we go. DC Comics. How are you? Helga, you had a dream about silver? Email it to me, Helga. All right. I hope you got my response. I did email you back, Helga. Thank you for letting me know about that Balkan dwarf. All right. California is in the house. Mr. Cooper. Nigeria. Esther's in the house. All right. Gulf Shores, Alabama. We've got Austria. Helga's in Austria. All right, cool. Mary in the UK. Big up to the UK. Okay. Let me see how many people we got. 24. Okay, we're going to get started. Got 24 folks on board. So I'm going to let me get my little pen. Okay, this is going to start out very simple. Hey, what's up, Offie? UK is in the house. Liverpool's in the house. I like this. I'm trying to do earlier because when we do it early, I get people overseas, UK, Africa, Austria, and then people in the United States. So I'm trying to work it in the middle. Okay, look at this, guys. This is going to be education, but it's also be prophetic. I'm going to tell you the dream in a few seconds. All right. Now, many of you know I have a Patreon, and I've been teaching precious metals as well as prepper stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do off of the dream, I've been led to give you guys some education. All right. For many of you guys remember back in, November 2022. November 2022, I put the link below. I, alongside brother Drew Wyatt, we made a video and we were explaining that silver is part of the wealth transfer. We were explaining it. We were letting you guys know our dreams and visions. We were letting you know silver is part of the wealth transfer. Me and brother Drew Wyatt, you could go down in the video. You could see the link below. Well, check this out. That was November in 2022 when we did that video. My friends, at the time when we did that video, silver was at an average price for the month of November. It was $21.50. All right, in dollars. $21.50. You can buy an ounce of silver at that time. 1 ounce of silver at that time was $21.50. Okay, at that time. Now, here's what's going on. Some of you know this right now. Right now, as we speak today is January 12th, 2026. So let me put that up. Today is January 12th, 2026. As we speak right now, silver is about $85. Hold on, this is where it gets crazy because there's a lot of craziness going on right now in the world. I'm trying not to get into conspiracy because I already know what the Lord showed me. So I'm not trying to stress all that. But in the United States market, over in the United States, notice what I said, over in the United States, they have silver at right now $85.45, give or take. This is right now in the United States, $85.45. Some of my research, and other people can look, in some of the other markets around the world, silver per ounce is actually higher. Okay, there's some craziness going on in the market, all right, for an ounce of silver. So this same ounce of silver, when Drew Wyatt and I did that video and we were telling people that silver is part of the wealth transfer, a same 1 ounce of silver, okay, it was $21.50 when we did the video on average, okay, for an ounce of silver. And today, this same ounce of silver is $85.45. There's reports right now in other markets, in the Asian markets, other markets, there's reports that they're saying silver is $100 an ounce right now in other markets. There's some serious stuff going on in the international markets. Thank you. Joshua just put a comment in. He said in Japan, it's $120 now an ounce. And I'm trying not to get into the conspiracy side of what's going on, how crazy the situation is. Okay. But I just wanted to give you guys that little tidbit. So let me ask a quick question. All right. This is where it's going to make some of you guys smile. And my UK people are here because I try to make sure I'm doing both time zones. Okay. You guys know, for those of you who bank in the UK, you got Lloyd's of London, you got NatWest, all that, and HSBC, that's for people in the UK as well as China, all right? And then I got my people in the United States, you do banking with Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, all that, okay? Now, if you had $21.50 sitting in the bank back in November, just hear what I'm saying. Imagine in your bank account, all right? You just had $21.50 sitting in your bank, all right? It was just sitting in your bank. How much at 2% interest, right? The average, let's say 2% interest. 2%. At 2% interest, do you know you would have made 43 cents interest on that? Okay? You know, I don't know if you know that. You would have made 43 cents interest. Now, people who joined my Patreon in August 2023, when I started my Patreon officially, the average price of silver was $23 an ounce. 23 bucks an ounce, okay? If you would have had $23 sitting in your bank account, just sitting in your bank account, and you were earning interest, the banks were giving an average interest of 2%. At 2% interest, you would have made 0.46. You would have made 46 cents. 46 cents interest on that $23. This is where ignorance can kill some people, because I've been mocked. I've been ridiculed by some people who say they're Christians. When I've told some people, I've been telling people about silver since it was $12 an ounce. Think about that. I've been telling Christians since it was $12 an ounce. And when I made the YouTube video and did it on an international wide scale audience with Brother Drew Wyatt, it was $21.50 an ounce. And that's when we were prophetically telling people what's going to happen. And now, today it's $85.45 an ounce. And in other markets, it's $100, $110. I'm showing you the evidence, not just of prophetic words, but I'm showing you the evidence that there's something going on, that the transfer has begun, okay? I'm showing you the evidence, but this is going to get deeper. If you had this little bit of interest, imagine if your bank would have paid you that. So imagine that you would have had a higher interest rate, and the bank, if you had $21.50 sitting in the bank or $23 sitting in the bank all right? Imagine you had that sitting in the bank and it turned to this, $85. Wouldn't you be pretty happy? You'd say, hey, that's some pretty good interest I earned. This is what we're trying to show God's people, that you gotta get educated on this stuff. This is not a rocket science. This is stuff that the elite don't want you to know. In fact, let me take it a step further. I can't speak for the UK, but I have family members and friends in the UK. And from what I'm taught, what I was told, and you guys, I have all my UK friends on here. Tell me, were you ever taught about gold and silver in the public school in the UK? Because I want my UK people to please comment to let us know. Because remember, the UK is one of the financial powerhouses, London, all right, city of London. I can speak for the United States. In many of the public schools, I was in public school in the state of Florida. As well, I transferred up to New York. I did public school in 2 different states in the United States. And I can tell you unequivocally that you are not taught about gold and silver in the public school system in the United States. And I think that is by design, okay? Private schools, that's different. But let me see, my UK friends and family, you could go ahead and answer me. And also, Helga, if you're there, answer for Austria. Austria, maybe, okay? But for any of you who went to public school where you are in the world, no matter where you are, who are watching this live, please let me know, did they teach you about gold and silver in school? I'm not talking, don't be clever, some of you. Don't sit there and say, well, you know, in science class or in geology. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in the financial realm. Were you taught about gold and silver? Okay, I'm looking at the comments. I just want to know. I want to know what people. Thank you, Big Russ. Big Russ, say what state you're in or country. All right. Say your state or your country when you answer that question. In your public school, whether you're in the United States, Canada, England, Europe, Africa, South Africa, say where you're at and just say, Russ, he's out of New York City. He said, no, they weren't taught about that. All right. I got Ruthie. Ruthie was educated in the UK public schools. You were not taught about that. Okay. AH for Truth. He was educated in between Canada and Africa. He said, no, never. Look at that. I got someone else. The Moment Minister. He was educated in Korea. No, was not taught about that. Okay. Is a light bulb starting to go off for some people? Okay. Why did they never teach you about gold and silver in public school? Because they don't want the sheep to know. The elite are taught about gold and silver. And during this, as we call this, as we're prophesying, talking about the wealth transfer and all these things, you have to teach your children about gold and silver. That's the only way they're going to know. Okay. I was taught about gold when we learned about Abraham Lincoln. Okay. That's what Mike said. All right. Cool, Mike. All right. You have to teach your children. You have to teach your friends. You have to teach your church members about gold and silver. Because if you don't teach them, the elite, they're going to make sure you remain ignorant. And that's how evil continues to move. It moves through ignorance. It keeps us ignorant. The same thing with ignorance in the Bible. I believe one of the words is darkness. Darkness is translated into ignorance. Somebody can correct me, okay? I'm just off the top of my head. It's translated also into ignorance, okay? When they said there was darkness upon the face of the earth, there was also ignorance upon the face of the earth in the very beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and earth, okay? So there was a darkness, there's an ignorance, okay? So when you say some people are in darkness, sometimes you're not necessarily talking about lighting, you're talking about ignorance, that they don't know. That is the number one way that the devil operates, especially against Christians, against believers, are ignorance. There's certain things, if we get the knowledge, the information, we are empowered to do things, okay? That's why it's like when I run into, no offense to some of you believers, because I know I have a lot of Christians, this is a Christian-based program. I get a lot of believers who they don't walk in the gifts of the Holy Spirit because they were never taught that. They came out of a Baptist background or a real Calvinistic background where they're not taught the gifts of the Holy Spirit as what Paul taught and the others taught in the New Testament. And it's nothing personal, because I was taught that at one point in my life until the Lord showed me more and I came out of the ignorance. Because we were taught that the miracles and those things of God, those were only for 2,000 years ago when Jesus walked the earth and the disciples walked the earth. But that is ignorance. No, the gifts, Jesus Christ, the same today, yesterday, forever. So the gifts of the Holy Spirit continue today. So Christians should not walk in that ignorance. Now, going on to the financial side, we know the Bible lets us know the gold is mine, the silver is mine. He shows us all throughout scripture, there's a value on gold and silver. There's a value there. This is God's money. Okay. So we should take that knowledge and say, well, if God valued it and the prophets of old valued it, and all these religious books showed us there's a value of gold and silver in the past, we should have that knowledge for today. And now we should have more knowledge concerning what? Concerning this thing called silver. Do you know, guys, silver is used in, and I want to see anybody, you could light it up in the comments. I'm going to show you something. Silver, what do you know? How important is silver? We know silver is money. You go in the Bible, whenever it says money, and many times in the Bible, get a concordance. If you don't believe me, get a concordance. Every time you see the word money in the Bible, when you see that word money, a lot of times it's translated to this, to silver. All right, many times in the Bible. I'm just giving you, that's one thing you can check for yourself. In many cases, it equals silver. All right, when you see the word money. Okay, but what's silver used for today? What is it used for, guys? It's used for, did you know it's used for solar panels? I want to see who else. Look at that. Thank you, King. Jacoby just dropped the big one, okay? When I say he dropped the big one, Jacoby just dropped what? A bomb. He said missiles. Jacoby just put that in the comment. He's actually correct. Missiles and bombs. Many of the missiles and bombs that are made by the militaries around the world, they need silver. What else? Let me just look at it. See, he dropped it. Somebody else says electronics. Many electronics around the world require silver, okay? Thank you, Eagle. Eagle hit it. Industrial. There's so many industrial applications. You need it. Thank you. Moment Minister. AI, mega data processing. Thank you, King. Batteries. I can go on and on. There's so many things that we need silver for EV vehicles. This is all EV. I'm putting that. EV vehicles, a lot of those electric vehicles, guess what? Teslas, those cars or EV cars, whether it's a Tesla or it's the competitor in China, it doesn't matter. EV vehicles, they all need silver. Silver is used for so many different things across the face of the earth. Hey, EV Geek, what's up, brother? EV Geek came on right as I said his name. Electric vehicles, they require silver. You need them to make them. There's so many different things. There's a new cell phone, there is not a cell phone, there is a new battery. One of the new batteries, I believe it's being made by, I can't remember the name of the major company, Samsung, I think, Samsung. New battery, they're using silver instead of lithium to help generate the power for this new battery that's coming out to the market, all right? So thank you, Mike. Solid state batteries. The applications, silver is used, and it's going to be used much more in the future. So guess what? We're at a problem right now because the paper contracts, there's a lot of paper contracts, a lot of fraud that's been done by the banking system and stuff. A lot of stuff between London and other parts of the world is starting to catch up. The chickens are coming home to roost because a lot of companies, a lot of banks, a lot of institutions, they're demanding to have the silver physically in their hand. They're not trusting these paper contracts. And we know, they know, and we know somebody's going to get screwed. Okay. So with that said, let me give you this quick little lesson. Okay. We're going to do a little adjustment. Let me make a little quick adjustment. And I'll tell you the dream as I make this adjustment. I'm going to sit down now because I'm taking you guys to school. All right. Inside the classroom here. Okay. I got all this stuff here. I'm showing you guys this stuff because I'm going to tell you this dream right now. Okay, here goes the dream. Check this out. Before I get into this, let me tell you the dream. In the dream I just recently had, I was with just a Christian brother. We were inside of a mall, and as we're inside like a shop, it was like a shopping mall, something to that effect. Somebody kept coming up, and he was offering us silver. So the friend that I was with, who did not know about silver, the salesman kept coming up saying, hey, I'll sell you this, I'll sell you that, I'll sell you this, I'll sell you that. And as he's saying all this stuff, you know, my friend doesn't know any better. He's like, oh, you got silver for sale? All right, whatever, da, da, da. And he's pulling out his money, and I'm sitting there, I'm saying, wait. I said, I'm telling him, no, don't. I said, you need to check it out. He says, no, he's offering it at a good price. He's offering the silver at a good price. And the man is pulling out all kind of stuff. He's pulling out silver knives, silver forks. He's pulling out silver coins, silver buckles, all kind of stuff, right? And my friend's like, oh, this is a good price. So I said, wait. So it's a dream. So literally I start pulling out of my pocket all the different things that I know to test the silver to make sure it's real. So every time the salesman is trying to sell my friend something silver, I pull out something and I'm testing it. I get my magnifying glass. I get my digital scale. I'm weighing stuff. I'm getting the magnets. I'm getting my sensors. So I'm pulling every time. So the man will pull something out. I would test it. It would come out fake. I would say, nope, you don't want to buy it from him. And then he'd keep talking to my friend, say, no, here goes something else. Here, buy this. He showed my friend something else. My friend's about to buy it. I'd pull out another tester. I'd test it. I said, nope, you're not going to buy that from him. Nope. And it kept happening. I kept telling my friend, nope, this guy's selling you fake stuff. So after about 10 items, maybe about 2 of them were real. Out of the 10 items he tried to sell my friend, 2 of them were real. I tell my friend, I said, you know what? Don't do business with this guy. He's unethical. Don't do business with him. He cannot be trusted. And my friend, he chose not to listen to me. He still, in his ignorance, went to do business with the man. Mind you, I told you the man presented him about 10 items and only about 2 of them were real silver. The other 8 were fake. And my friend in the dream still decided to go and do business with that gentleman. And the dream ended. My brothers and sisters, the prophetic warning I'm telling you is that the counterfeit silver is going to be flooding the markets now. They're coming fast. Why am I telling you this? This is the way counterfeiting works. Counterfeiters make money and off of selling people fraudulent stuff, fake stuff. That's how they make money. So with gold, people have been counterfeiting gold for millennia, for a long time. Because especially now in the last 100 years, people would counterfeit gold. And they got very clever in the past 30, 40 years. All right, you hear stories of people buying big old gold bars, you know, like the size of this scale, big gold bars, but on the inside it was fake. It was filled with tungsten. All right, this stuff happens all the time. But the thing about it, selling people fake gold is risky. It's high fraud. You can go to prison for a very long time. And if you're doing it under a government sanction, like counterfeiting government issued gold bars, you could go to prison a long time. The death penalty, it's the death penalty in China. If they catch you selling counterfeit gold, especially with a government stamp on it, that's a death penalty, straight up. All right. So China does not like it. But however, a lot of the counterfeits do come out of China. But I'm telling you now, gold is not the issue for counterfeiting. The counterfeiting now is going to hit the silver markets at a remarkable rate. I know that from the dream, but the Lord prophetically told me to warn you. So if you don't have education, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get screwed, because the price of silver is going to go to these prophetic numbers that you've heard me speak about. You've heard my brother Chris Harris out of Australia speak about, Drew Wyatt, other brothers and sisters who gave the prophetic warning where they seen silver, the prophetic word of where they seen silver going. Silver is going to keep going up. And doesn't matter right now if silver drops down, if it does a pullback at some point, because of the international elite, they try to pull the price down, it's going to keep going up. But here's what's going to happen. As it continues to go up in value over time, the counterfeiters increase because it's going to be more advantageous. It's going to be more profitable. Right now, there's not that many counterfeits. There's not as much counterfeit silver out right now. But I'm telling you prophetically, it's going to start coming heavy. It's going to come hard and heavy. Okay, I've been working with silver for quite some time. I'm a broker on the low. You know, I've been doing that for a while. And I could tell you guys, I've ran into counterfeit coins here and there. I've ran into counterfeit products here and there. Silver, but it never happened often. It would barely ever happen because the profit margin wasn't big. It just wasn't big. So for most counterfeiters, it's like, why are they going to bother? You know, it's silver. It was only worth a few dollars. You know, you're not going to take the time to make a fake silver coin when you're only going to make $2-3 off of it. But as silver now starts to climb in these bigger prices and the profit margins get bigger and bigger, that's when the counterfeiters are going to get to heavy. They're going to get to work. And I'm telling you prophetically, be careful. So why I'm showing you this, get educated. This is a digital scale. Know the weight of silver, whatever you're supposed to be buying. You should know the weight of it. You should be able to weigh it, know the grams or troy ounces, because in silver, it's troy ounces, the weight. This right here is an analyzer. This analyzes, scans certain coins. It can scan silver or gold. It tells you what is real, what is fake. It scans it. Boom, you put the coin on here. Boom, you get a reading. All this stuff I teach people in my Patreon. Okay, this right here, I'm gonna let people laugh at this. You see, it has a little diamond on there. That's another thing for you wealth transfer people. Don't go buying diamonds. Do not buy diamonds. The market is flooded with so many fakes. The diamond market sucks. It's been like, this is an industry secret for years. Don't buy no diamonds, whatever you do, okay? I'm not telling you not to buy a diamond ring for your wife. I mean, if you feel led to and you want to, that's cool. I did that, you know what I'm saying? I did it years ago. But now that I know better, I wouldn't have done it, okay? I'm not saying that, but there's so many fakes out there. Don't take any wealth transfer money and buy diamonds. Bad investment. I'm just warning you, too many fakes, okay? But let me see. You see this ring that I'm holding, though? I'm gonna tell you the advantage of it. That even though that diamond is fake, this particular ring I'm holding is silver. It is sterling silver. And guess what? I got this thing at a yard sale. I got it at a yard sale for about $5. And right now it's worth much more than $5. All right. I'm just showing you a little game. This is stuff that's taught in my Patreon. All right. How to do certain things. You also got to know quick ways of scanning, checking these products. You know, you don't want to get fooled. You don't want to buy the fake silver. A lot of times you can use a magnet, but a magnet is not always the one all be all to determine if stuff is fake or real, because there are fakes that can pass the magnet test. But let me show you something. I got some forks right here and knives right here on the table. Well, some of them is real, some of them is fake. Let me just ask anybody. Let me ask anybody. What do you think? Compare the knives. Would you think that's real silver? This knife right here I'm holding. Who thinks it's real silver? All right. Or who thinks this knife is real silver? Let me just see. I'm checking the comments real quick. All right. King said no. He said no he said no. All right. Well, let me just show you guys something real quick. All right. The second one. What do you think about the second one, King? The second knife? Okay. So you think the second one's real? And you think this one's fake? Okay. Well, let's do a quick test. All right. Yeah, that's good. And you guys, I know you're far away. It looks real. All right. Well, let me show you something. This one stuck to the magnet. This knife right here. This one's 100% fake. It's just a knife. Use it to cut some butter. This one right here, yeah, it can get butter, but let me show you something. It doesn't stick. This one's actually marked. It's stamped. All this is taught in my Patreon. This is actually real silver. I'll tell you guys a funny one. This is my Patreon members. They're laughing all the way to the bank. I taught them stuff like this. I got this at a yard sale for $1. You see this? $1. I got it last year, $1 at a yard sale. Right now, this is about an ounce of silver right here. Okay? Think about it. It's about an ounce of silver. All right. I got it for $1. So yes, this one's real. They said you're born with the joke is when you're wealthy, they say you're born with with a silver spoon in your mouth. Okay. That's right. This one is real silver. All right. I tell you all in my class, my Patreon class, I show you all the ins and outs. I got this one at a yard sale, probably $3. Okay. Real silver. This one here, same thing. This one is actually real. All right. I was actually stumbled across this one. All right. Didn't even know how that was going to happen. This fork, is it real? Is it fake? Fake. All right. See the magnet sticking to it? All right. Now, this is the thing now. that was just showing you stuff that, like I said, the magnet is not the be all, because there's other processes you have to go through, especially as all these counterfeit silver starts to hit the market, the coins. You're going to get counterfeit coins, counterfeit knives, forks, spoons. They're going to start hitting the market very hard. You're going to have to do other means of testing, okay, to make sure. Or don't be ashamed to bring it to a jewelry store, a certified jeweler, or a pawn shop, if you have a reputable pawn shop. If you're not sure, don't be ashamed to. Okay, do not throw away grandma's silverware. Grandma might have some real stuff in the house. Okay, now let me show you this. This right here, it's a silver coin. Or is it? Or is it? Is it real? Is it fake? This thing's fake. Fake silver, guys. All right, I'm just letting you know this stuff's going to be hitting the market all over the place. And not, like I said, it doesn't matter if what you know, who you know, you want to just get the knowledge. Now, this is one. I'm going to show you something where you guys will, I just want to get two opinions. I'm holding two coins. They're both American Walk in Liberty coins. Okay. I'm putting up closer. Let me put it postal camera. Do you think one is fake, or do you think one is real? What do you think? I'm showing you that so you can see that. I didn't even put them on the scanner. I could put them on here and just tell you the answer, but I want you to see, just let you off this eye test. Do you think one is fake, one is real? What do you think? Go ahead. We're just, and I just want an opinion. Let me see what you think. Anybody? Anybody? I got, we have 80 people in the class right now. Just checking. I know the stream is going real slow. All right. Okay. Joshua. Thank you, Joshua. Joshua, you actually, Joshua 07. Thank you for your answer. Joshua says they're both real. Who agrees with Joshua? And I know we're just doing this virtual, guys. So don't worry. This is not it's not a big test right here. It's virtual. You're not here to see it, do the test, acid test, and all that stuff. All right. Well, let me tell you, Joshua looked at both of them. And Marky. All right. Marky, thank you. Okay. NetGeek says only one is real. Okay. Joshua and Marky. Joshua is actually correct. They're both real. And Marky, good answer, Marky. The tarnished one, this tarnished one is actually real silver too. All right. A lot of people don't understand. NetGeek, it's okay. That's why I just did it to fool people. NetGeek thought one was fake, one was real. The ping test doesn't always work, Mike. There's other metals that sound really good with a ping test. So the ping test, something you can do it, but I say don't lay your hat on that, man. Don't bet your life on it. The ping test, sometimes when people take other metals, gold, copper, nickel, I've heard some nickel stuff sound good too. So ping test, I don't mess with that too tough. Okay. But here with the tarnishing, this coin right here is in really good shape because it's fresh. This is rather a more recent coin. This coin is just tarnished. That's all. A lot of air, a lot of oxygen hit it. That's all. It's just tarnishing, oxidation, little air exposure, etc. That's why I started to just get a little dark, but it still is real silver. And a lot of people don't know that. Sometimes real silver, it'll get a little tarnishing starts to hit it, and it's okay. It's still real. Your only concern is that the metal is real. You don't have to sit there and worry and stress about, oh well, it's tarnished. It looked a little dirty. Your concern is the metal real? That's your number one concern. So what I want everybody to know, look. You could have certain items in your house right now that are silver. This right here was a clip. It's a cash clip. All right. Found this in my dad's house. All right. Cash clip. You could put cash in here. This thing was real silver. All right. This right here. This belonged to my relative. All right. She had this since childhood, and guess what? It's real silver. All right. Sometimes you don't know what's laying around the house. You don't know if you have older relatives and stuff like that. Check. You'd be surprised at what's laying around their house if you know how to check. And that's where education is going to come in for the future, guys. You got to get educated on learning silver, gold, copper. You're going to have to learn all this stuff. More so silver, more so gold. You got to, because these are what the common man deals with, okay? You're going to have to get educated. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what to look for. If you're at a yard sale, there's certain things you could do really quick on the fly just to say, okay, boom, I'll buy it and just get up out of there. I've been in yard sales where people didn't even know it was silver, And because they were just so anxious, at the end of a yard sale, at the end of the day, people are just throwing stuff away, giving stuff away because they just wanted to get rid of stuff. And people were so anxious. They're like, yeah, just take it, just take it, just take it. I'm like, okay, I'll just take it, because they didn't know what it was. And okay, thanks. And I'm out of there. They gave it to me. This is a little bit of education will take you a long way. One of the things that I keep warning is that's going to happen is, all my brothers and sisters, we talking all this wealth transfer stuff. A lot of you are saying, hey, when the Iraqi dinar goes up in value, I'm going to buy some gold and silver, or when my XRP or whatever cryptocurrency investment or whatever prophetic stock, I'm going to buy gold and silver. That's good. I don't have anything against that. Yes, that is good to get some gold and silver. However, you need to get education first. You better know what you're doing. You better know it's more than just going to a website and ordering metals. A lot of people are going to make this mistake. They're going to go to certain websites. They're going to say, well, I heard this is a good company, a good website, and then they're going to get duped. How do you get duped? Well, there's a couple ways. There's a lot of great companies online that do good business, but every now and then, number one, you get a delivery driver who's dishonest. He's going to do what's called the old switcheroo. He'll do the switcheroo. And then you're going to have sometimes a disgruntled employee who works inside the company. So right before the company ships out the metal to you, the disgruntled employee, he may not have been paid his salary right. He may not have been given his bonus at the job. He may be sleeping with the boss's wife. Who knows? He's going to then do something fraudulent and do a little switcheroo in the box. You need to know, when you get that box, if you order from an online company, when you get that box, you better know how to test all that metal on your own immediately as it arrives to your house. You got to check it yourself. You got to scan it, analyze it, run it through all the tests, weigh it. If it's coins or bars, weigh it. You got to make sure everything lines up and everything is there, and it makes sense that it's real. Because there have been horror stories out there of people who order stuff online. One of the biggest horror stories is some people ordering some precious metals from an online company, and guess what? The package never shows up. Doesn't even show up. You made a credit card transaction online, but the stuff you ordered doesn't even show up. I mean, that's fraud on another level. And I've seen that happen to some people. All right. So this is the type of stuff where you gotta get the education, guys. You gotta put the money out. Because some of my friends who are watching, you're talking the wealth transfer talk. You're talking, hey, I'm a Joseph. One thing Joseph, what he did in the Bible, guys, he was collecting silver and gold as payment for Pharaoh's food. All that food, he wasn't just, remember, he took animals as payment in one point. You can read it. He took the sheep, he took the cattle. At one point, the famine was so bad, people were selling their bodies. They were going into slavery, they were becoming indentured servants to Joseph and the Pharaoh. They were selling their bodies. The famine was so bad. But on the other angle, remember, he was also taking silver and gold. Do you think Joseph was an idiot? Do you think he was taking counterfeit silver and counterfeit gold? And the Bible says nothing's new under the sun. So best believe you had counterfeiters back then. Alchemy was back thousands of years ago too. All right, alchemy is just scientific. It's just scientific merging of metals. There was people who knew how to do counterfeiting back then, and I can guarantee you, Joseph, being one of the wisest men in Egypt of the day, Joseph had some good men who were going to be testing that gold and silver before they gave you that grain. They were testing it to make sure. They were not just taking it blindly, saying, oh, yeah, we think it's gold. No. I can guarantee you, Joseph, his men were testing the gold and silver when they were giving them payment for that grain. All my wealth transfer people, we're talking about famines and all these things happen prophetically, which is going to happen. You need to know, you need to be educated. If someone comes to barter you and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to pay you a silver coin. I'm going to give you a silver coin, but I want to do a trade with you for some rice or some beans or whatever. Well, when you get that silver coin, you better know how to test it. You better make sure it's real. It's nothing personal. All right. I've seen professionals get fooled. Let me repeat that again. I have seen professionals get fooled when it comes to silver and gold. More so diamonds. That's why I said don't even look at diamonds. Just avoid it. All right. So this is the type of stuff we need to get this education. Every single one of us, you need to get educated in that. This is for the people who are talking about going into gold and silver heavy. Now, if you're just, you're a hobbyist, you're just buying a few things here and there, hey, just a couple coins here or there, one or two coins, a few coins here or there, then all right, you may not want to, pursue all that education and stuff. You just could, go to your jewelry store, 1, 2, 3. But if you're one of those people where you're saying, you know what, I've heard the prophetic word of the wealth transfer. I'm not really that good at crypto and some of the other stuff, but I really can. Gold and silver, I'm starting to get it more. I'm gonna go heavy on gold and silver. I'm gonna take my Iraqi dinar or my XRP or whatever. I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of gold and silver. Then you really need to take the time to learn it. You got to learn it. You cannot take that type of risk, okay? Because the counterfeiters are coming. That's the prophetic word. The counterfeiters are coming, especially in the silver market. They're about to overflow the silver market. As the price of silver keeps going up higher and higher, the counterfeiters are going to start to flood the market. They will be able to flood the market. They're going to do it because they want to make money, okay? So that's my prophetic warning to you. Get educated because the counterfeiters are coming for silver. They are coming hard and heavy. All right. With that said, let me look at some of the comments. You guys definitely have some of you are on my Patreon right now. You can just give a comment if you're in my Patreon and you learn something. You say, Brother Keith taught us a lot. You learn stuff. Give a comment. King, you were in there. DC Comics. So you guys just let people know. All right. You can join. For those of you, I'm gonna in my Patreon. I have some few classes. You can actually just, if you say I'm not gonna join and be in the Patreon every month, but there's 1 or 2 classes you want to learn. Like if you don't know how to, if let's just say, for example, if the wealth transfer happens with a cryptocurrency and you're heavy in crypto and you want to quickly use some of your crypto to buy physical gold and silver, then I show you that in my Patreon. I show you step by step how to send your cryptocurrency directly from your wallet or your exchange, send it directly to a gold and silver company, and how to do the process, okay? And boom, you get that gold and silver right delivered to you. Now, again, when it gets delivered to you, my recommendation still is that you better check that thing, all right? Because you don't know the process. If there's a disgruntled employee with a company, sometimes these company changes hands. You can have a good ethical owner of this business, of this particular this particular precious metals company. You have a good ethical, honest owner. He sells the business, but you don't know he sells the business. A new owner takes over the business who's a total crook. And now he starts putting out a few little fake products, all right? So this it's a very, very grimy game, okay? We see that, a lot of you guys watch the action movies when you see like the drug, I have to use it like, just keep it real. You see the drug dealer, he's selling whatever illicit drugs, and then he switches it, instead of selling cocaine, he puts in baking powder and he does a switch and he sells it off, or whatever illicit drug, it's supposed to be marijuana. He switches it for herbs, oregano, and he switches it at the last second. This type of stuff does happen in the precious metals industry. All right. I'm just telling you the way it is. It does happen. Okay. When it comes to money, people are wicked. Okay. So let's try to get to some of those comments. You see my Patreon right there in the bottom, at the address, if anybody who wants to join. Let me get to the comments. Let me just see, try to make sure okay, good. I see a lot of you guys know what silver is used for, the electric vehicles, the batteries, all that stuff. Good. Pewter, DC Comics, no, pewter's not worth nothing. All right. Mike, good comment. Mike says the counterfeit gold bars coming out of China are scary good. They have a thick layer of real gold and way accurate. Mike is 100% correct, guys. The counterfeiting is coming. It's coming. And some of those counterfeits are really good. You really got to be on top of your ball game. All right. Show a regular quarter as soon. Okay. Forbidden Plan. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just showing these people as a quick example. This is a precious metal analyzer. There's more than one on the market. This is one. This one is, like I said, you get one of these. This is taught on my Patreon. I show people on my Patreon how to use it, etc. You get one. This is a cheaper one. There's the higher end ones that are like $20,000 to use, and those are really, really on a next level of what they do, because when you scan it with the higher end ones, they show you the actual purity and the content of the, and it even tells you the metal that's being scanned through the scanner. So if it's copper, it lets you know it's copper. If it's silver, it lets you know it's silver, and then it tells you the purity. All right, and those are the higher end products. I like those. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I just give people. Okay, let me see. Oh, good. Forbidden Planet, good comment. He said, beware also at auctions, because you have some ignorant people that think certain coins are silver when they are not, and check everything at the auction when buying. Very good comment. Very good comment. Thank you, BW. BW, he's definitely, thank you. BW is in my Patreon, and yep, BW is absolutely correct. He said he thinks that we'll see counterfeit copper in the future. I believe BW is actually correct. I was just led because of the dream I had that I just told you guys earlier about the counterfeit silver in the shopping mall. You know what? The Lord was like, just get this video done, get it out. All right. Okay, Lord. Boom. I had the dream last week, but I believe BW is actually correct. I believe counterfeit copper is going to be the next thing behind counterfeit silver. When copper starts to skyrocket, you're going to start coming across counterfeit copper. Stuff that's like right now, the pennies in the United States, they're spray painted. They're painted, and it's like a zinc type color. It looks like it's copper, but it's not. All right. They stopped doing copper in the United States, I think in 1982, the pennies. So anything beyond that, they're not real copper, but they look it to the naked eye. And that when copper goes up to the roof, you're going to get counterfeit copper out there too, guys. I'm telling you, this is going to get real. All right. Let me just see what else. Okay. Wow. DC Comics just checked another website. She checked another website on silver. She's seen silver at $99. Okay. That's what I'm telling you guys. We're in a no man's land. Okay. Things are about to heating up. I just showed you earlier on the board, on top of the board, as I was standing up, silver was $85.45. All right. And yet I have people around the world, because I told you that's how crazy it's starting to get. People in other parts of the world have been showing, just putting in our chat, that they're seeing silver prices at $120. Okay. This is where the markets it's not even making sense. Okay. What's going to happen, guys? A lot of the major banks are going to be buying up their positions in silver, and they're going to be going directly to the silver producer. They're going to go directly to the mines. Okay. They're going to cut out the middleman. They're going to go directly to the mines, and they're going to pay the mines the fee straight up for the silver, because they're going to need a lot of these big banks or financial institutions that need to have the physical silver. They're going to lock it down for like a year or whatever. They're going to pay these people straight up, go straight to the mines. But what that's going to do, it's going to create a ripple effect for other businesses. So some people, like let's say an EV company, electric vehicle company, he's going to be trying to do the same thing. But see, for companies, it's a little different as opposed to a bank or a financial institution. Banks and financial institutions, in some cases, they they can make the power move much quicker to say, okay, we're going to quickly go ahead and make this purchase, all right, and buy it directly from the mine. Sometimes with some companies, like a electric vehicle company, they have to get approval from the board members before they make those type of power moves. So then you're going to have the prices of certain things, electric vehicles, the prices on solar panels, all these different things. The prices are going to start to go up because supply and demand is going to come into the silver thing. Remember, guys, silver has to be mined out of the earth. It's not something where you, like the Federal Reserve does with paper, where you can just hit print on the printing press and it's print paper. It doesn't work like that. With silver, it has to be mined out of the earth. There's a process. Okay, that's the beauty of it. Okay, so we know it. Like I said, it's a wealth transfer vehicle. I've prophetically said it. Other brothers and sisters did. So, you do what you want to do. You're free to do whatever you want to do, but I suggest you pray about it. Okay. I'm just reading some more of the comments. I'm trying to read all your comments. Some of you guys do have questions. Divine Align, that's in my Patreon. I'm like, this is where I give everything, and I do all this in my Patreon, man. All right, please wait, brothers. I got beat for. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Divine Align, I'll throw you one. This is just one of the ones that I use. This is just a more effective precious metals analyzer. Okay, you can just type in precious metals analyzer. Check them on eBay. Check them on Amazon, and you can see different types. This one right here, this one costs about $900, $1,000. But again, there's other ones on the market, and you may want to check around, okay, for what you're gonna buy and use. In my Patreon, I show you this, and I show you how to use it in my Patreon, as well as there's other ones. I'm actually gonna buy the next model. One of the ones that one of my favorite YouTubers, Tracks NYC, out of New York City. He's one of the biggest gold dealers and gold sellers. He sells gold and those big gaudy jewelry. He sells all kind of stuff to celebrities in New York City. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. He uses the big machinery. And actually, I put up a video as well. One of the silver dealers I deal with in New Jersey or New York, I showed you I was in there selling silver, and they took out the big tool and they were scanning my silver. All right, I like that device. That device runs between $17,000 and $20,000 to use that device, and that device ain't no fakes getting past that device. Okay, it does jewelry and coins. That's what I like about it. This primarily does coins and bars. Coins and silver coins, silver bars. That's primarily for this. When it comes to forks and silver and all that stuff, silver forks, silver, it's a little more difficult to use it. That's why, again, you got to know what you're doing. This is all schooling, okay? LM says they had a dream about a month ago about silver being melted down in front of my eye and saying upon my awakening, barium. I had a knowing of manipulation. Look at that, confirmation. Thank you, Elm. Thank you for that comment. That's what I'm telling you guys. The counterfeit, I'm telling you, prophetic warning from the dream I had that I said about 20 minutes earlier. The counterfeit silver is coming. It's going to be flooding the market hard. You're going to find, that's why I was showing you some of the stuff that's real and fake right here in front of me. You know, you got to know what you know. You're going to have to know how to test some stuff on the fly. There's some stuff, I'm going to tell you one thing I learned. If you're buying some stuff and you feel it in your gut, if you get a gut feeling, a gut check that something's wrong with it, don't buy it. Let me repeat that again. If you come across something in the future, whether it's gold or silver, and you're getting a good deal, but you get something in your spirit, a check, and it's saying, don't touch it, you get a little gut feeling something's wrong with it, follow your instincts. Do not buy it. I'm telling you from personal experience, okay? Let me give you guys a quick story. Which I'm ashamed to tell, but I have to tell because it is funny, but it's also enlightening. Many years ago, my dad, who's now with the Lord, my dad gave me some money for Christmas. I was a teenager. I was probably, 18, 19 years old. He gave me some money for Christmas, some cash. That was what he would do. My dad would do that with all his kids, just give you some cash. Here, when you got older. When you were a little kid, he'll buy you toys. As you got older, he's like, here. So he gave me some cash, and being a teenager, I wanted to get me the nice big chain like the rappers get. All those rappers running around with the big gold chains. So I said, well, I'm going to get me one of those. I see one of my guys on TV. I want to be like that. I'm a teenager. So my dad, because my dad had wisdom, he said to me, son, if you're going to get yourself a gold chain, go to the jewelry store right here in town. Don't go to one of those other places. Go to a reputable jewelry store. He said it might cost a little bit more, but it'll be worth it that you go to them. But I'm a teenager. I know it all. What did I do? Oh no. I decided to jump in my car and drive to New York City, to Queens, New York, just like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. I went to Queens because I'm a king. And because I'm a king, I'm going to get me a nice gold chain, a big gold chain fit for a king. I went to this store, and this is not to be offensive. It was run by some Arab guy, and he said he had beepers for sale. He had clothing for sale. And at the front of his store, in his little display, he had all these gold chains, big gaudy gold chains for sale. And I was like, yeah, I want one of them. And he seen me coming a mile away. He was like, "Oh, yes, my brother. You want one? Yeah, here, try it on." He let me try it on. I looked in the mirror. It looked all good on me. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm fly. I look really good. I look like one of the rappers. Yep, I look good." And he charged me. He basically took all the couple $100 I had from my dad. It was about $400 or $500. I paid the guy for it, walked out. Well, here's what happened. A few years later, I said, I need to buy a car. So I decided to take my gold chain to sell it because I wanted a car. I went to a jewelry store, proudly took off my gold chain, gave it to him. I said, "Pay me." And the jeweler, he examined my gold chain. He did his examinations. He did everything. He pulled out a magnifying glass, and then he did some other stuff. And he did an acid test. And then he said, "I'm not paying you anything." He gave it right back. My face dropped. Why? Because the chain was a fake. It was a fake. Now, I had a reality check because I was young and ignorant. There are many young African-American males, many young Latino males, many young men around the world who were robbed at gunpoint for their little chain. Some of them lost their lives. And in some cases, the chain wasn't even real. Let that sink in. Ignorance is costly. Ignorance is costly. I was one of those teenagers where if a guy pulled a knife or a gun on me, I would have fought him for my chain. And the chain wasn't even real. That's the sad reality. So I'm telling you guys this to make sure you get educated. A lot of you out there, and I'm not saying you personally, a lot of people out there, they're talking this wealth transfer talk, and they're going to sit there and say, "Hey, when XRP goes up, I'm going to buy gold and silver. I'm going to get a whole bunch of gold and silver. When the Iraqi dinar revalues, I'm going to get a whole bunch of gold and silver. Oh, when whatever crypto goes up, when my Zion oil profits go up, when whatever prophetic stock that I heard from Kim Clement goes up, whatever goes up, I'm going to buy a bunch of gold and silver." And you don't know how the gold and silver game works. It's much deeper than just going to a website and ordering something. You gotta get educated. So with that said, let's go back to the comments before I get off out of here, because I did promise the moderator that we'd be on for about an hour, and we are at 57 minutes. So let me see if I can take a few more questions. I'm trying to just help a few people out. Let's see. Please, brothers and sisters, I got a 300. James says, "Please, brothers and sisters, listen. I got beat for $300 in silver 2016 and 2016. Thank you, James, for letting that comment happen. You know, James, I thank you for your honesty. Like I was being honest how I was robbed. My brother-in-law, I love him. I taught him about silver. And my brother-in-law, one day, because he thinks, he knew more than me, I advised him. I said, "Hey, man, be careful with eBay." I said, if you're going to do eBay, if you're going to buy any silver off of eBay, go to a reputable seller with high sales and high rankings. And I said, even that is risky, but the price will reflect it that he's a reputable seller. My brother-in-law decides to go to one of the cheap purse people, one of the cheap sellers who was giving a quote unquote good deal. And he bought some silver from the guy. And as soon as he showed me the silver, he's like, "Look at the deal I got." I looked at it. I didn't even take a magnifying glass. I didn't take a magnet. I didn't put it on the scale. I didn't do anything. Once I put it in my hands and I looked at the silver coins, I gave it right back to him. I said, "It's not real." He was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I just knew." I said, "It's not real. That price was too good. It's not real." And sure enough, tested it. It wasn't real. People are getting taken for, and that was a few years ago. So I'm telling you now, as the prices of silver it continues to go up, this is going to be happening at an alarming rate. The temptation is going to be there even for online dealers. If they have that, like I said, if they have that one disgruntled employee inside that office, the scams are going to happen. Okay, it's going to happen. It's guaranteed. All right. RB Bradick asked me, "How high do you see silver going?" I put in the link, the dream. A lot of my videos, I deleted some of them because the Lord told me to. But I did put my silver dreams video with my brother Drew Wyatt, where we were discussing it. And like I said, which I did put on the board behind me, I did put the price point. I put how in November of 2022, when we put up the video, how silver was $21 an ounce, okay? And now silver is $85 an ounce in the United States. In other places, it's higher, okay? Drew gave an illustration of the dream he had. And from his dream, literally, it looks like silver. He had a few silver quarters in the dream. And it literally, from the calculations from his dream, it looks like silver is going to go between $500 and $2,000 an ounce somewhere in that window. And you got to listen to Drew's dream carefully, because he said he was getting paid. He was getting paid in yuan, but he was leaving China to go to Japan, where it's yen. So he did the calculations for yen as well as for yuan, Chinese yuan currency. And it was looking like it was between $500 and $2,000 is where silver can go. My calculation for my dream, which I put in that video, it looks like my calculation was around $400 or $500 an ounce for silver. That was my calculation. Now, mind you, we did this video when silver was $21 an ounce. Please look at that video. It's right there in the description section. I have it there so you can watch that video. I did put it back up so the public can see it again. All right. A lot of different prophetic voices are saying different things for where they see silver going. All right. Let me just see. I'm just trying to see if there was anybody. A lot of you are commenting. I can't get to everybody, but I'm just trying to get to a few. All right. Forbidden Planet says, I have not seen any $5 gold commemorative fakes yet. Has anybody seen any? Guess what? Forbidden Planet, I'm pretty sure I've seen one. I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of gold fakes, brother. I'm just letting you know. I've seen a lot of gold fakes, man. So that gold, boy, that's the one, boy, that they've been counterfeiting those for days. All right. Let me see what else. I wasn't for her. Dinar is near. All right, Divine. I hope you're right, man. I've spoken to a lot of people who've said that they think the Iraqi dinar is near. I've talked to a lot of people who felt that they've heard that in prayer. So I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, let it be so. And Lord, let us be in that window when it happens to get it. DC Comics said, in Miami, a man told my brother he got robbed and he needed cash to make it home. He told him he would sell his gold chain. My brother said, I only have $20. He said, this is 18 karat. I'm just in a jam. He ended up giving it to my brother for $20. It passed the magnet test, but then in Miami, when they tested it, it was just gold plated. Yep, that's common. It's a common hustle. People do that all the time. I saw that one coming. But yeah, people do that type of scam all the time. It happens where they'll say, hey, I'm down on my luck. I got a chain, whatever. Do you have any cash? I'll give you my chain. I'm down on my luck. And then you're thinking you're getting the better end of the deal. You give them all the cash in your pocket for that gold chain or that gold bracelet. And then when you go and test it, the thing was fake. They just hustled you. That's a common hustle. Seen that in Miami, seen it in New York. I've seen it a lot of places. I have friends who've seen it in London. It's common hustle. Okay. These type of hustles, though, they're going to increase, especially the silver hustles. They're gonna increase. Oh, speaking of copper, Forbidden Planet, thank you for putting that on. It just reminded me of something. One thing you guys want to do, this right here, again, I'm giving you guys a free class, free education. If you come across some old copper coins, I got copper coins from numerous different countries. This one's from UK. I have some from the Caribbean, but some of the coins, these copper coins were 90% copper from other countries. So you hold on to them. You put them in your copper stash. That's what I've been doing. You know, when I come across, that's an old old pennies from the United States, but I got pennies from other countries. All right. And 2 pence and all this other stuff. Some of them were made of copper. You put them away, put them in your copper stash. Another secret to do is if you come across some coins that are coming from other countries. I've got stuff from different countries. I don't even know the language on some of them. Some of them, these are all foreign currencies, but they're old. But you can look some of these coins up. This is taught in my Patreon, guys. You look up some of these coins and you check the composition of the coin. When you check the composition of the coin, if that coin is silver, you're winning. If that coin, and of course you still do all the other testing like that I said, and this, but if the coin is mostly copper, don't throw it away. Don't you hold on to it. Put it in your copper stash, okay? Put it in your copper stash because it could pay off in the future when copper goes up to these super high prices. So that's a little advice. If you have foreign coins sitting around, I know sometimes we travel or your mom or your grandma went on trips. And I know when you come back, you can't exchange the coins at the bank because the bank generally, they want bills, they don't want coins. You hold on to those foreign coins because if it's made of full copper or if it's made of silver, it'll still be worth something in the future. All right. Even the price of nickel's going to go up too. Nickel has been going up. So this is a little word of advice. I'm doing that with a lot of my old currency stuff that I traveled, or if my mom went somewhere, or if my dad went somewhere, I just gather up all those old coins and I check the composition on them and I put them away. Okay. So that's just something another little free tidbit I just gave you guys. Other little things, you'll be surprised. This right here, see this right here, guys? Cufflinks. When you're wearing like your nice suit, you put on your cufflinks. You know what I'm saying? When you wear your nice suit, this right here, I got that from my dad. My dad died, had no idea he had it. I was literally, as I'm throwing away all the stuff out of my dad's house, just throwing stuff away, I looked at this thing. I was literally going to throw it in the garbage. I thought it was just some rinky-dink cufflinks. But because I have the wisdom, I know what to look for and how to check it. I found out it was silver. They were silver cufflinks. Okay. This is where I said ignorance can be costly. I almost threw these in the garbage. Almost ended up in the garbage. Now I'm holding about an ounce of silver right here. Okay. So this is where you guys, education can take you a long way. My Patreon members, they get all this stuff. This is in past Patreons. They look up the new Patreon members. Let you guys know, when you join my Patreon, you have access to all the old teachings. All right. So you just go back there and you see whatever you want to learn and you could just learn it. Okay. So this is where people are learning. My old Patreon members, when I taught them this 2 years ago, they were going to yard sales like I did, getting a silver knife for $1 at a yard sale. You heard me. This is an ounce of silver, roughly. This is roughly 1 ounce of silver, $1. This is what we're teaching. The class, my Patreon class pays for itself, so I'm not even stressing it. So anyway, Rachel, good to see you. Glad you're here. Everybody else, again, Rachel, she's somebody. So that's one of my people. She as well as a few other people. They do also. I do private consultation, meaning you don't have to join my Patreon at all. Just do a private consultation. If you have a question regarding prepping, as in food storage, water storage, all that stuff, because I'm the author of the book, The Prepper and the Preacher. I am a preparedness person, preparedness expert. I do consultations on that. If you need a consultation on cryptocurrency, you're just like, hey, brother, I don't know XYZ about crypto. I need some help. Can you give me some advice? I do that. Or you have trouble trying to get a cryptocurrency or crypto token in your country, because in some countries, some things are restricted and you want to be able to get it and you want me to facilitate it for you. Just get in touch with me. Use the email address right down below. All right. KeithItonentertainment@gmail.com. I do consultation as well. I am doing traveling consultation as well. If you have, this is going to sound funny, but I'm keeping it real with you. If you got a bomb shelter, that's not my business. I've been in many bomb shelters. I'm a prepper. All right. I've done food consultation with people. And you're saying, hey, can you come check some things for me, brother? I want your opinion. I'll come. I will come. All right. If the price is right, of course. I can't work for free, guys. I have to eat. I have children. All right. So my consultation is up and open. If you need consultation for a particular subject or something, you just email me. If I can help you, I'll let you know straight up if I can help you. If I can't help you, I'll let you know that as well. Real simple. All right. So anyway, I think we got enough comments. I hope you guys learned a lot. This, like I said, from the dream I had about the counterfeiting, how it's going to be increased with silver. You need to be educated, guys. You need to be educated. I don't want anybody getting robbed or taken advantage of. All right. DC Comics says $1 to $97 from a yard sale. God is good all the time. She's absolutely correct. And I also, like I told you, some of my testimonies, I've been to some yard sales, guys, where because I knew the object was silver, I took advantage of it. Meaning there was yard sales I've been to where the owner they were in such a rush to sell the house or to move. They said, you know what, just take it because I'm going to throw it away. They're literally going to throw stuff away because, you know, mom or dad left it to them or whatever. And they had like, you know, I've came across silver goblets at yard sales, silver goblets, sterling silver goblets. The guy's like, oh, you just throw it, get it, because he's more concerned with selling the house. He doesn't care about all the little things, the little tiny little fork or knife. I've come across stuff like that at yard sales where sometimes they'll give it away for free because they don't know and they don't care. They want to sell the house, which is cool because the house is worth $500,000. They're focused on getting the house clean so they can just sell that house and get their $500,000. They're not focused on the little tiny things. And sometimes you go to some yard sales, they will just give it away for free. I've seen that. And people in my Patreon have taken advantage of that stuff when I gave them the knowledge on what to look for, what to do. Okay. So this is just, it is. One person's garbage is another man's treasure. That's the old saying. All right, guys. I'm going to pray you guys out of here. And I tried to get to as many of the comments that I could. I apologize if I missed one. I just tried to get to as many people as I can. You know my Patreon, if you're interested, KeithIton Entertainment, patreon.com/KeithIton Entertainment. Back. All right. You'll see all the info. Look at that dream from me and Brother Drew Wyatt. It's right there in the description. Say, look at the dream. So that way when you hear the dreams that we've had, you could get a little more of an understanding of where the price of silver could possibly go. All right. And there's other prophetic voices who have already told you where they've seen it going as well. All right. I'm convinced that the wealth transfer has begun, and it's begun for the body of Christ, who was listening when a lot of the prophets had said, hey, start getting silver. When a lot of the prophets were telling you a few years ago, start getting silver, many of you listened. You heeded the warning. OK, I heard it. I had a man of God tell me about silver. I was blessed. He told me about silver when it was $12 an ounce. And I prayed about it because he was telling me something that was very foreign to me. I'm being honest. I was like, what is this dude talking about? And he was telling me, get silver, brother, get silver. But I prayed about it. That's what Christians should do when you're in maturity. If you don't know, you're not sure, ask God. He wants to hear from you. You pray and you ask God, say, God, what about this? Should I do this? Does this make any sense? And the Lord confirmed it to me when it was $12 an ounce to start buying some. And I didn't have much money, but I did it little by little. You know, I spent $10 here, $12 there. But over time, it added up. Okay. And that's my advice to you. If you don't believe what I'm saying, pray about it. I want to quickly give a quick shout out to there's one or two ministries out there. I got word from some brothers and sisters. There's one or two ministries out there that actually heard when me and Drew Wyatt did that video 4 years ago, which we put on YouTube, and you heard us when we're talking about silver and gold. And some of these ministries out there, they took the paper money, the money in the bank account from the church, and they converted it to gold and silver. And they used that for the church's savings. And now some of these ministries have paid off the debt, and they own their church and the property outright. They paid off the debt. We're called to be good stewards of what God gives us, guys. So I want you to think about that as well. We're called to be good stewards of what God gives us. That particular one or two of these ministries that heard me and Drew Wyatt and heard other brothers and sisters, they literally took some of the cash out of the bank that they were earning no interest on, or 2% interest, and they turned it into gold and silver, and they were able to pay off the debt for their ministries and own their ministries, the land, the property, free and clear. Okay? We're called to be good stewards, brothers and sisters. Remember that. We're called to be good stewards. So with that said, Brother Keith is going to leave. I'm going to pray you guys out of here. Thanks for coming by. I hope this is going to help a lot in the body of Christ, that you don't get taken advantage of in the near future. I don't want anybody getting taken advantage of. And I see it's going to happen to some people, but we don't want it to happen to people in our community. Okay? So let me just pray you guys out of here. Father, I thank you for the time. I thank you for the divine instruction you've given me, Lord. I thank you for the brothers and sisters that came on board today just to get some quick education. I thank you for people who are in my Patreon, who joined my Patreon, and people who came on the Patreon one time. I thank you for them. And I thank you for all the brothers and sisters who are going to be sowing into other ministries around the world through whatever you decide to give them during this time of transfer, Lord. I thank you for them, Lord. Let them use wisdom and the spirit of wisdom to do as you want them to do. Make them be sensitive to what you instruct them to do, Lord, because there are some ministries that are worth sowing into. There are some ministries that you should not sow into. So let them, every man, seek you, Lord. Let them all seek you for instruction. Lord, I thank you for everybody in this community. Lord, I ask that you just bless them, protect their crypto wallets, protect their gold, their silver. I ask you to protect their prophetic investments, Lord. Protect them, keep a hedge of protection around them, Father God. And Lord, I ask you bless every hand that is sown and given into all these different ministries online, as well as mine, Lord. I thank you for them. I ask you bless them immensely, Lord. And I thank you. I ask you heal everybody, every person who has a health ailment. I ask you heal them in the name of Jesus Christ. Heal their bodies, Lord. And we give you thanks, Lord, because you are the Lord who healeth thee. We thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Talk to you soon. And we will definitely be in touch. I have a special, I got a video that it's a prophetic video that's going to be dropped in a few days. Please pay attention to the next video, because a lot of us we're saying we're Josephs. We got to have wisdom, and we have to have a direction of what we're to do with our funds in the coming days. All right. I'm dropping something very interesting for you soon. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. I got to go. Bye-bye.